Hi guys, this is Jackie Cooper again with Jcoopertravels, and I have the Alex with me today. This is the second part of our podcast. Alex, in case individuals who are listening didn't catch the first part of our podcast, would you like to introduce yourself? Just give a little bit of info about your business and what you do, so that way they can go back over to our first podcast and actually listen more closely.
Sure thing, Jackie. Thank you very much. My name is Alex. I am from Transylvania, Romania. This is in Europe, for if anybody doesn't know. And my main business activity is mergers and acquisitions.
And the name of your business?
Adnumus.
And it's so unusual. So share the history of how you created the name.
It's made of we combined two words. The first part comes from advisory, which is self-explanatory, and numus is an old ancient Latin word which means money. So it's advisory for money.
So this part of our podcast is about travel, and I know that you had mentioned, your location in Romania. Have you been primarily in Romania, or have you been in other cities in Romania? Tell me a little bit more, because I haven't had the ability to travel to your country yet. It's on my bucket list now that I've connected with you and everything that I've heard about its beauty. So tell me a little bit more, so people who maybe haven't thought about visiting will.
Sure thing. Now, what's going to strike a bell with everybody when you say Transylvania? It should be, the first name should be Dracula. I mean, Dracula's castle was in Transylvania. It's actually called, it's the Bran Castle. It is very popular with tourists. It is very, very nice. I mean, I am a fan of the character, and people should be. I mean, this is it's a 13th century castle, so I very much would recommend seeing it. But not only that, honestly, Romania's most beautiful castle is Peleș. Now, this is definitely one of the first things I would recommend. It's a charming resort in Sinaia, that's close to our capital, Bucharest. And this castle has distinctly a rather German character with neo-Renaissance architecture, but very, very pretty. There are 160 rooms in total. So I definitely recommend, if you have the chance, this is one of the top locations I would recommend visiting, for example, in Romania. There are, of course, other beautiful cities. The city I'm in, Cluj, is quite renowned for its youth, if I may call that. It's a university city. I mean, in 2015, there was a festival here. It was Untold Festival, and it got Best Major Festival in Europe. So that is quite nice, and definitely recommended. We had all the large names you think of. But also I would recommend a couple of other medieval cities. Cluj is also medieval cities, like Sibiu. And I would also recommend, I think it's the most beautiful city in Romania. It's Brașov. Now, of course, our capital, Bucharest, is also very lovely, but that is a much more crowded. It's a much more crowded town. If you want to get away, there's definitely a lot of things you can see in Transylvania. This is my recommendation. I might be emotional because I'm here, of course, but just have a look over it, and maybe you'll like it. The people are very, very, very welcoming, and Cluj was voted one of the most hospitable cities in Europe due to the nature of the people.
So in terms of geography, is the country lakes, mountains, flat? What's the nature of the geography?
We pretty much got it all.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
We have a lot. I mean, the mountainside, I believe, is a lot more appealing. The Black Sea is called the Black Sea. I mean, but we do have that as well. We have a couple of lakes, but not as much as I would like to be honest. But the mountainside is quite stunning from my experience, honestly. That's what I would recommend more. Yeah, you do have, of course, the beach, but with regards to other places I've traveled, it's a solid 5 out of 7.
So you have mentioned that you've traveled other places. Where else have you lived or traveled?
I've traveled in Europe a lot. If I've seen regarding Europe, what I would recommend, I've seen Budapest in Hungary. I've seen Italy. Italy just warms my heart. I love their whole Dolce Vita thing. That's just amazing. Good vibes and good wine. If you're a fan of wine, definitely go there. I love Austria. I've been to Switzerland as well. I've even been to Moldova and Ukraine, but I've also been to, for example, to the UK. I've also been to Thailand. I've been to Japan. So I've been quite a lot. What I really liked, honestly, Asia, I would recommend to anybody. This might be just for me because I've been through Europe a lot and it's a very familiar vibe to me. But Asia has just absolutely impressed me. It is stunning. Japan just swept me off my feet, and Thailand did as well. I don't know how to express in a couple of words what I've seen there. If you're looking for a remote getaway, islands and the island feeling, definitely Thailand. If you're looking for temples and everything, Japan is amazing. It combines perfectly what I've seen with the business side and the going to the job every day with the temples. It's very, very interesting, and their habits are more than worth looking into. They're quite specific and very different than anything else I've seen. Europe has a much more, I don't know, warmer feel about it. But one of my favorite places, honestly, as a holiday place is Greece. Greece, I would recommend totally. It's great in regards to price per value. I believe it's one of the best places to visit. And the water is just absolutely crystal clear.
Yeah,
it's stunning.
I would agree with you. I know I shared my wholesale platform with you. I go for less. Did you have a chance to look at a bucket list? Where would you like to go next?
I did. It's Bali or the Philippines.
Ah, yes.
But Bali, unfortunately, this year has stopped taking in visitors because of COVID. So I'm keeping fingers crossed for this to just end. And the Philippines is on my mind for at least the last 3 or 4 couple of years. I just haven't had the chance to go there. I started this year with Thailand. Luckily, I was able to go on holiday, and then all of a sudden, well, COVID kicked in, and there you have it.
There you have it.
Everything is pretty much locked down. We're happy. We're healthy.
Yes, for sure. For those that are listening to the podcast and also the YouTube, in the block above the podcast and YouTube, there'll be the access code, so you can access the wholesale member-only platform where you can save up to 35% on your travels. And that way you can incorporate your travels both for your personal pleasure as well as your business travel as well. Any last minute thoughts about any other travel places in Romania? I know you did a very thorough job, but totally appreciate your giving us a tour. That was a whirlwind tour.
Regarding Romania, we have a lot of history. If you want to see something traditional, it's a very good place to visit. If you want tradition and see how our culture used to have things and how we've kept certain buildings and have a remote getaway, it's definitely a place where you can come and just relax. We have quite a couple of locations specific for this tailored need.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's definitely going to be on my next bucket list as well. Thank you so much for being on. And for those that are continuing on the podcast, there will be a 3rd episode where Alex is going to talk for my Cooper Virtual Career Day podcast. So that way we can learn more about how he got into the business of helping businesses buy and sell and other things that he's done with his life. So thank you so much, Alex, for being on, and I'll talk to you in a minute.
Thank you very much. Look forward to it.